mean, you do it too, but you're quicker at catching it.
I think I just think faster than you.
Okay, what do I have to get from Home Depot?
You need to get some lube, and you need to get some. I don't remember. Did we use all the JB Weld?
I don't even know what that means.
What is it called? It's is it epoxy?
We have a
I don't remember
clock
what it's called,
that has been in these cubbies just as like decoration.
but hidden from you all.
They've never seen it. It's been low.
Yeah, it's been down in the bottom on that.
Okay, it's
on
this
the side.
clock that I have always thought is so cool, and I do not remember where it was. I think it was on my dad's desk, but I don't think it was ever plugged in. I think it was just there as like decoration, and I think it's probably always been broken, and my dad never fixed it because my dad was not necessarily the most handy person, but you have apparently figured out how to fix it.
It's a lot easier to fix than I assumed.
Really?
Yeah. Well, okay. So it is. What is the clock called? It's called the. Oh, by the way, okay. Sorry. The clock is called the Golden Hour. I think it's just the Golden Hour electric clock by Jefferson.
Okay.
And okay, so if anybody, apparently in the clock world, this thing is like iconic and known by, like, I've looked, every time I look up a video to fix it, it's like the most famous clock that was mass produced or something.
And
I don't
just
know.
liked it. So I was like, can I have it?
Yeah, I know nothing about it, but it was called the mystery clock. That wasn't the branding. That was the
Okay.
marketing.
Okay.
And I figured it out because as I was playing with it, I figured out why the clock isn't working. I'm pretty sure.
Uh-huh.
But so the clock looks like it's suspended in the middle of it by a piece of glass.
Yeah.
And all it is there's teeth on the glass that grab the motor, and it turns the glass, which turns the minute hand and the hour hand.
The glass is what's turning?
Yeah. But because
What?
I don't know. I have to open it to see what year this one was made, but they were made from like the 50s to the 70s. So at some point, regardless, it's like a 50-year-old clock, which means the adhesive is probably fallen off of or stopped adhering the metal to the glass. And when I turned it, I could feel the glass move, and I could feel that the teeth were not moving. So I was like, oh, and then when I put pressure, everything moved right. And I was like,
Interesting.
So I think when I plug it in, the gears are moving, but the glass isn't.
I did not realize the glass was moving. I thought the hands were just moving.
Well, no, because there's no. You'd have to get a wire to go to a like a motor in the middle, but there's no cabling going into the middle. I guess the only other way to solve that would be if the clock like minute hand touched the edge, and then on the backside you'd have a wire going that way, so then you could hide it. But this wasn't that. This was like, it's literally a plate of glass that there's
That's
like
amazing.
But there's some dude on the internet took it apart, put it on YouTube, took it apart and is fixing it. I didn't watch the whole video because you were ready to podcast, but I was like, oh, the diagram shows how it all comes apart. I'm like, I don't need to fix everything. I just need to fix the adhesive and the because it's so old, I figured if the adhesive is gone, then the motor and all the gears probably could use a little like gear oil or like lubricant stuff. So I was like, okay. And I looked it up, and the lubricant and everything that's at Home Depot is totally fine. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's like $12 and we'll have a really dope working clock.
I am so glad that you are smart.
That I'm handy.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for being how you are.
Thanks. Thanks, man. It's not helping my sanity with the closet still not being finished. I know.
We've probably talked about this on here, but I am someone who can just like live with how things are, like a mess. And Taylor is absolutely not.
No.
At all.
Not at all.
So he is freaking out.
I mean, I'm not freaking out. I just can't stop thinking about it. It's like the top thing on my list of things to do today.
I didn't make a list of things to do today.
That's fine. You didn't need to.
Oops. I do need to, actually.
I mean,
another thing.
hardly.
Can they see the Disneyland things? No.
No, not anymore.
Okay, so we have these tickets because apparently at Disneyland, back in the day, you had to give a ticket to the ride operator to get on the ride, which is so cute. Total waste of paper and totally like a waste of time.
That's back when paper was not a concern.
Completely different time. But I was going through it and I was like amazed that not a lot of the rides have changed. Like, yeah, there are, of course, different ones and they've renamed things, they've redone things. But for the most part, the rides have always been there since the beginning. And I feel like I'm so used to now, like things updating, changing so quickly. Like people are always expecting something new. I feel like that is so bizarre that it's stayed the same.
I mean, why fix what isn't broken?
Exactly.
You know, like I'm not going to take apart a watch that's not broken.
Perfectly good watch.
Yeah.
It's just amazing to me. Like
makes me wonder if I could fix this one too.
Oh, 100%.
How do you open this one?
Are you going to become like a clocksmith?
No.
Is that a thing? A jeweler? Who would fix clocks?
Clock guy.
A clock guy. A time guy.
I think it's an horologist.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Well, let's see.
But then that kind of sounds like a disease.
No, not really.
Anyway, I've been thinking a lot about things working, things not working, figuring out what is working for you or what is working against you.
That's right. Horologist.
Right. Oh, with an H.
Yeah.
A horologist?
Mm-hmm.
So dumb.
Or clockmaker is
like
another
that.
term.
I like clock guy.
Yeah,
But it could be a girl.
I like clock guy too.
Clock lady? Clock girl?
It's a clocker.
Clocks are very interesting.
Yeah.
But in general, in everything, like what is working for you, what is working against you. And we both took some time to like lay everything out in our business and be like, okay, what is completely working 100%? What? You did it. Wow, that looks so cool.
Wow.
Wait, is that the front that you just took off?
No, that's the back.
Oh, okay.
Oh, she just needs to be shaked.
I don't. Maybe blow on it.
Keep talking.
Seeing what was working for us, what was working against us. And we've adjusted a few things, but it's been like just very prevalent. Is that the word? Just very obvious in like my life and in my business of me doing too much. Overall, doing too much. And we've talked about this in terms of like productivity, like expecting 35 things to get done in the day when realistically 5 things can get done in the day.
Yeah.
Because things take time. And like, if you really want it to be quality, you have to put a lot of care into it. And that does take more time. But it was like, I had already been thinking about all of this. We'd already been adjusting a few things. And then one of my students was like, please, it was something completely unrelated that I was like, that's so interesting. And she was like, please do not start doing that. Please don't start like working on that because we want you like as much time and care as you can give us in our skating. We want and need it. And it was such a like small thing that she was saying in terms of like what we were talking about. It was completely like something dumb that I was like, oh, that's so interesting. Maybe I could try that. She was like, no, please don't. But it spoke so loudly to me that I was like, okay, yeah, like other people are feeling this too, not just myself, which of course I should know that because that's always the case. Like once I am feeling something, everyone that I'm involved with on a week-to-week basis is already feeling it. Like there's no lying or like faking it when people know you that well and you spend so much time with them. Maybe there is, but not for me.
I mean, there still is, but I think that you are just open enough that it's not as possible to hide it, or you're just more willing to say whether you are or aren't.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I was like, whoa, okay, yeah, this is good that she said that I'm hearing it. Because it did make me take like an extra step back of like, okay, I need to actually spend time and energy on these very specific things that I love and need to progress in. And for me, that's been so many different things still. But like the main thing is I have been taking time to actually plan out my day, which is such a tiny thing. Like most people are like, yeah, like plan your day out. But when you own your own business and you work for yourself, it's very difficult to stay on track because things come up all the time. And I usually make a list, or like in a planner, I make my day. But what I started doing recently is making actual calendar events for what I need and want to do. And I started with what I want my day to be and then what actually happens. So like I overlaid them, and then I'm still finding a rhythm of what I actually want to do and what can be done. But it is shocking to see like every day I've put together like a stacked day, full entire day of what I want to do and what needs to happen. And the amount that I actually get done is shockingly low. Like it takes so much time and energy to do all of these little things. And I'm still in the process of like realizing that it actually does take a lot of time. It's not me being slow. It's not me like having ADD and getting distracted. Like it really isn't. It's just things take a lot of time.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's been us with like, or at least when we were cleaning the closet out, it was like, I was like, oh, I could probably do that in like, I don't know, 2 hours. I could do that and then move to the garage and figure out where to store all the stuff and move things around. And then 2 hours went by and I had barely gone through like an eighth of the closet. And I went, sick. This is going to be a long time.
Yeah.
I'm like, there went my whole day.
It's the worst. And like, I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but when like the other day, Taylor woke up and got distracted completely by something that was like,
what day was that? Oh,
it wasn't cleaning stuff out. It was
the sense.
Reorganizing the sense.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't a bad thing that he got distracted, but you let it like ruin a little bit of your day because you were so bummed that you didn't go run or you didn't whatever. You were like, he was genuinely like, I'm still in my pajamas. He wasn't. He was in shorts and a t-shirt.
Like, I was in like what I'm lazy in. I wasn't in the like.
But like you're so that's so funny to me when you. It's not funny. I feel bad when you do that, but it's like you are so put together that even in your chaos, like you were like, oh my gosh, I'm losing it. I'm so not put together at all. I was like, I'm pretty sure you've actually done like more with your day than me, and you look better. Like you look put together. You look fine. Your day is fine. Like it doesn't matter if one morning like gets away from you necessarily. It's fine.
It matters. It absolutely matters. I'm not letting that happen.
And I admire that. I really do.
I let it happen. It sucked. It's fine. I'm fine.
Are you sure?
We're fine. We're fine. I'm fine. It's fine.
I don't think it's fine. I don't think you're fine. I think you're still recovering.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But then, okay, so I've been obsessing over sports. Not necessarily shocking, but it's like...
It'd be weird if it was shocking.
It's just such a new discovery in my life.
It's been like 4 years of sports.
No, even beyond that. I'm more fascinated by like the sports that we haven't like really studied and watched. Like recently...
You say study? Like what do we do? Go to school for anything? No.
Maybe I study baseball.
Oh my God.
I've spent more time watching baseball than learning something else new, for sure. But anyway, like football, I have never watched. I went to one football game last year and watched the Super Bowl. I think.
We like always watch the Super Bowl because it's like a party
Yeah,
situation.
hardly. That's like me saying
Oh,
I used to watch baseball when we would go to Angel games. I didn't watch baseball.
We didn't watch the Super Bowl last year. This year. This previous year. We were driving to Vegas. Well, I guess we watched it.
Oh,
were
we
driving
watched
to
the
Vegas.
halftime. The halftime show.
I mean, it was on in the car, but
Yeah.
like not really being paid attention to.
But like the Olympics obviously was just on. And there are so many sports. And like no wonder why people spend their entire free time watching sports because there's so much and it's so fascinating. But anyway, I think I'm so fascinated with it and such a new discovery in my life because I never watched sports growing up, even though I was like competing in a sport. I never watched sports. And a lot of these are team sports, which I wasn't on a team sport. Like we had a club or a team.
Didn't you do pairs?
Yeah, but
Didn't
I
you do
hated
team
it.
dance?
I hated it. And
That's still being on a team.
I'm fascinated by this and I want to improve my teamwork skills.
I'm waiting for this day.
I knew you were going to say something like that. I am fascinated by it because so many of these people on these teams are trying to reach their own individual goals. And they're trying to reach this ultimate team goal.
But when you sign up for a team sport, it's the team, it's not really you.
But you have to do so much to even get in the realm of being recruited onto the team or being a part of it.
Only if you're talking about being a professional in any of this. You can go play like pickup softball now.
I'm only talking professional.
Right now.
Right now.
You can go. It's
I
perfect. It's a
Don't
holiday.
think I could.
Yeah.
No.
Hundo.
My wrist can't hold up with that.
No, your wrist would be really bad. But
And it's too
you
hot.
can be like a designated hitter.
You think?
No.
No, the bat, the hitting the ball, that vibration hurts so bad.
It's because you didn't do it right.
Well,
When you do it
I gotta
right,
do more
it
studying.
hurts less.
Okay, fair. But like there's speaking of like what works for you, what doesn't work for you, finding that and being able to contribute to a team. And there are just so many moving parts. I was thinking about it with Shohei Ohtani because originally, I don't know what he's doing now, but I assume it's the same. At the beginning of the season, they interviewed him, Freddie, and Mookie, and they had asked about his hitting routine. And he was like, no, I don't have a hitting routine. He was like, or practice. He was like, this, a tee, no arm, no machine. That's it. And it's like he has found what works for him because he's, I'm sure, tried everything and people have wanted him to try everything. But he's like, no, this is what works for me. And even though it may be different than everyone else on the team, he's found what works for him. And that's just so wild to me. That's so impressive.
But, okay.
Because it's like in everything, we're so worried about, like, okay, I cannot speak for everyone, but I talk to a lot of people and we're all so worried about like, is this thing right? Am I doing this right? And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if it's right. If it's right, what matters is if it's right for you or if it's not right for you.
Yeah, but like 2 + 2 = 4, and if it doesn't equal 3, and that's wrong. So there is room for like that. Like 2 + 2 is not 22.
Okay, if you
It's-
don't have your wheels on your skate correctly, you're not going to roll. But if you want to do something this way, even though the norm does it this complete other way, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's such like a important thing to remember that I forget, that I know a lot of people forget, that like we're all trying to keep up and like kind of like the Disneyland thing, we're all trying to create something new. And sometimes it's like, no, just take it back to the basics and like figure out what actually works for you.
Wait, how's that have to do with Disneyland though?
Because in my mind, you're on my shoe. hey. In my mind, I'm like, oh, someone should always be trying to invent something new or make it bigger, make it better. And sometimes that's not the way it goes. It's not the way it should go.
I would argue that sometimes you don't need to be trying to do something new, or a lot of time you don't need to be trying something new. Like, it's not always about doing something new. It's about just existing. Right?
Yeah,
like you don't always need to be doing something new. If you're doing something new every day, you have no routine and your whole life is absolute chaos, and I don't want to be around that.
You've been around that for like
No. If everything's new, that'd be crazy. Yeah. We're not doing that. But like one of the shows that you have been obsessed with turning on, one dude was like, the human race or humans are meant to be average. Like the human condition is to be average and to just get by. And I'm like, that does make a lot of sense. Otherwise, if we all weren't average, then you'd have everyone as an all-star everything, and everyone would be the next inventor of blank, and the best influencer and most famous blah blah blah, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
But like, because like that percent of people that everybody sees and is super famous is like, I don't even know what percent it would be, but it's probably like 1% of the world, if tiny. That, or 0.01% of the world, or like, so it's like, I don't know how many people it is. But to think about it kind of in that perspective, it's crazy. Or like in baseball terms, isn't there like 300 MLB players that are like active?
I think so. If it's a 40-man roster for each team.
Let's see. There are how many players? There are a total of 949 players on opening day rosters of Major League Baseball teams in 2024.
Wow.
Regardless. Oh, I think it's if you do the 26-man roster.
Well, we were talking about that last night at your mom's, and then she was like, well, there's only 20 F1 drivers.
Right. But exactly. Yeah. Another great example. It's like everybody drives a car, but there's 20 people in the entire world. Well, not everybody drives a car, but 20 people in the world doing it at a level that most of the people have heard of. Like that's crazy. So like to think that, that's one of the things that sucks about social media, or like sucks about, I wouldn't say social media, I would say the internet and how connected we are, is that we forget that like sometimes just literally existing is fine.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
Yeah. You don't have to go be making some new whatever.
Yeah.
Like
I literally have to remind myself of that. I need to remind myself of that more and more, because I just feel like it's not even like someone else is putting it on me. It's like I expect so much from myself, which is ridiculous to a certain extent. I mean, you do it too, but you're quicker at catching it.
I think I just think faster than you. Honestly.
Probably. I still bet my reaction times are faster than yours.
Dude. There's oh my God.
We talked about this the other day, because speaking of F1, they practice like hitting a color. Like
hand-eye coordination things.
Yeah, and I don't have good hand-eye coordination, but I think my reaction times are better than yours.
I do not think so in any stretch of the imagination.
I would like to test this.
Which one of us is capable of killing a fly almost every single time we try?
You.
Which one of us, when you have mosquitoes surrounding you, is able to kill the mosquitoes?
You.
Which one of us has way better reaction times when something is falling and I typically catch it?
I think me.
I'm positive it's me. I've thrown stuff at you and you just... You don't even move.
Well, I don't expect you to throw something.
Also, let me clarify that like throwing stuff at her is like a gentle toss of like the pen in the direction, not like hard. Really? It's like a toss at you.
Fair.
You had a whole thing of Milk Duds tossed at you yesterday. I mean, it did hit your hands. On. That one's rough.
That one was I did a good job.
You did
it.
the foul ball thing. You just and
Oh,
you
I'm
forgot to
never
close your
doing
hand.
that with a foul ball.
I will. At some point, it's going to come and it's going to suck, but I'll catch it.
I think I might start bringing a glove.
I told you to.
Yeah.
They're just inconvenient to carry.
I'll put it on my head like other people.
Oh my gosh. I have brought it a few times, but
I think you should. Because if I bring a glove, you're going to have to put it on because I am not going to catch it.
You should bring my glove then.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely should.
Yeah, maybe. I don't want to carry it.
Baseball. We're both wearing Yankees hats right now.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you not? Well, I guess you can't see it on your own head.
I only have one hat with a gray bottom.
I only have one. Well, that's a lie. I only have one with a white. You said bottom?
Underbrim?
Underbrim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because your other one that I took from you is yellow.
Mine has a gray undercarriage.
There we go. I've started rewatching Gilmore Girls. And don't give me that. You haven't even heard it.
I have. I walked inside once. One day I walk inside and you have that. Oh, you have it blasting in the other room.
You almost said that word.
Yeah. You have it blasting in the other room and I'm like, why am I stressed out? And I get closer to it and I'm like, it's this stupid show again.
I love it. I love it so much.
Why don't you watch something new?
No, it brings me so much warmth and joy.
But
and
why don't you watch something new?
Because I'm watching it when I'm not watching it. I'm listening to it when I'm like doing something where I can't watch.
Why don't you find a good YouTube channel or a podcast or something that you like?
I like this.
Why don't you try?
I found what works for me.
No,
and it is Gilmore Girls.
Well, it doesn't work for us.
Well, you were not part of that equation.
Yeah, I was. I came inside and it was going on and I was mad about it.
I need to put headphones on when I want to watch it in here.
I think you just need to find something new. I think that show's old and I think that I appreciate that you watched it and liked it a couple times, but
anyway,
watch something else.
I was going to Melissa McCarthy is in Gilmore Girls. Mm-hmm. She plays Suki. And every time someone says undercarriage, I think of her in Bridesmaids when she puts her leg. You hate that movie, so do you even know what I'm talking about?
Not a clue in the world.
Dang it. Okay, they'll know what I'm talking about. She puts her leg up and she says something about her undercarriage. And she's speaking to her husband, her real husband in real life. I forget
but
his name.
Not husband in the movie.
Not in the movie. In the movie, he's like air marshal?
Sure.
Anyway, it's funny. So whenever anyone says undercarriage, I think of her. Where was I going with that?
I'd have a clue in the world.
Dang it.
You're talking about the Yankees hats.
Yeah. Yeah, but why did I start talking about?
Because I said the undercarriage of my hat's gray.
Yeah. We went to New York for Garrett and Chelsea's wedding, and it was very, very fun. And I am amazed by New York. I am amazed by their public transportation.
And this is coming from someone who has been to New York, and every time someone brings it up goes, no, I've been to New York. Oh, I
have.
This is my second time to New York.
Yes.
But you have no clue about any of it.
I had a little bit of a clue because I had been on it like once.
Yeah, but you're so amazed.
I am amazed because we used it a lot more than my first time there.
What did you do your first time there?
Walked. We didn't go very far.
Oh, well, then of course you would not need to take it.
So we took the train or the subway to Yankee Stadium. We took it to Citi Field. So we watched the Yankees. We watched the Mets. And I was thinking a lot, kind of related, kind of unrelated, but this is how my brain works. But like for the Olympics, a lot of people for the 2024 Olympics and Paralympics in Paris were concerned about the Paralympics, like how accessible that city would become, because it is, I think, known as one of the most inaccessible cities.
Are you confirming facts or are you just spitting stuff you don't know about on the internet?
No, I did research.
I don't trust you, but okay.
But then I was thinking about it for LA because I just read an article about LA for the Olympics in 2028 and talking about how great it will be, hopefully, because it will make the city so much better for the public transportation and for accessibility.
You know, as someone who's lived in Southern California their whole 3 decades of existence, I'll see that when I believe it. Or no, I will believe it when I see it. I messed that one up pretty good. No, I'll believe that when I see it genuinely because they've talked about doing stuff. They've talked about fixing stuff. I've heard all sorts of stuff. You know, the biggest problem is the people that are going to be on the public transportation, not the public transportation. Well, I mean, it's already a big place, but like if you got some crazies on there, that's not going to, like, nobody's going to want to take it.
Right. But maybe.
I'm specifically speaking towards the Olympics when there's going to be a lot of people here, not specifically like, well, I mean, public transportation in New York was great.
It was fantastic. But there were not a lot of accessible stations. Every time they did a good job of like announcing if you were going to an accessible station, but there weren't that many, I felt like, so it was noticeable when they did announce it.
Yeah, I mean, New York's like the American Europe.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. It felt like everywhere I've been to in Europe is like unbelievably inaccessible to someone who is not walking.
Yeah.
You know?
I really started thinking about that. And then I was like, oh, I wonder if Paris actually got better. And I wonder how LA will be.
I also think that when you think of Paralympics, it's not just everyone is in a wheelchair.
No.
So it's like there's lots of other types of things that make you eligible for those. I don't know what all those things are, but it's not just a slew of wheelchairs going around.
No, it's a lot of things. Like one of the guys that I started following, I showed you his chocolate muffin review in the Olympic Village.
It also went like, I guess, viral or something. So like news picked it up and stuff. I don't know. It was like, I got like news articles about it. I'm like, what? I don't care about a chocolate muffin.
No, he was just funny because he was like, I may have a hole in my head, but I think. Because he was saying he was smarter than the Olympians.
Because he asked them to heat it up and then he ate it right there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty smart just in general. Like, just if you want it warm, ask. Yeah.
But that I thought was really funny. But I never like thought about what the excessive or what allows you to be in the Paralympics, what the requirements are. I had never thought about it until this year. I feel like their branding and marketing has been so much better for the Paralympics recently that it's made so many more people aware of it and aware of the different sports. I think it's really cool.
I think that it's just your algorithm on the internet is helping you. And that's the awareness, because I have gotten less than 0 things about.
Really?
I barely even got things about the Olympics. I only got things that were like top tier, like the Australian person and then the dude that looks cool with the sharpshooting. No, the dude that looks average with the sharpshooting, the girl that looks cool with the sharpshooting. The end.
Wow.
There was nothing else unless it was from you.
I sent
there was
you
like nothing else on the
internet. It absolutely is, what I like and what I share and stuff that it is giving me, which is fantastic, but it is all sports.
Yeah. Well, you tell me that your explore page on Instagram is like just straight up baseball
and hockey.
Mine is like, God, mine is so bad. And I swear it's like I don't follow
for how much you send videos, I feel like it should be better.
You'd think that because I send very funny, specific videos that I would get actually useful, funny, specific things to share.
Yeah.
No, it's like, it's all lingerie. And I'm like,
so wild.
I'm like, I'm not even on my Instagram enough to get that deep into that, but I'm like, I don't follow people that are that. I don't.
But every guy that I talk to about that, it's all the same.
Yeah. So apparently my demographic just wants to stare at that. I'm like, dude, I get it. Yeah, but like I don't. That's the last thing I want to be scrolling through on my
You're like
Instagram.
in public and like.
Well, I mean,
tapping.
I don't feel embarrassed. I used to feel really embarrassed by it. Like I would never go on my Explore page because I'm like, oh, everybody's gonna think and I'm like, I genuinely don't care. I'm like, also, I don't even really care if I like click on it or something. I'm like, half the time I'm like, who's the photographer? Because I'm like, if it's a really cool photo, I'm like, do they only take photos of that, or does it just happen to be that's the one I got? Because if they take cooler stuff on other things, like I'll follow the photographer.
I do usually check that.
Yeah, because I'm like, if it's the photographer's account, that's cool. If it's like the model, I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, well, what am I going to do with this? I don't need to see this.
It's very funny because, like your mom had even said that. She was like, oh, I get your ads. And I was like, yeah, because you're my demographic.
Yeah.
Like you are who should be getting my ads.
Yeah. Well, I also get your ads, which I think is weird, but it's probably because I follow you and all things. I check a lot of the boxes.
Yeah.
Not the demographic box though.
You're not a woman. Mm-hmm. That's so weird.
No, on the same topic of like the socials, I don't know what it will require for people to understand that their version of the internet is very specifically and strictly only theirs.
I'm glad you said that because I was thinking about that.
To every single human, you have your own internet, period.
Yeah, like if you act shocked that I have not seen something you're talking about or I don't follow this person that you follow, most of the time when people are like, oh, you don't follow that person or you haven't seen this video, I'm like, no, I have no idea what you're even talking about.
Well, it's not even so much that. It's like, it's even the Explore pages is a perfect example. It's like, I follow MLB, I follow Dodgers, I follow, I think Mets, I follow Ducks and Rangers. I don't know if I follow NHL. I have friends that like hockey and share hockey and baseball, and I share tons of all those things. Yeah. My Explore page has 0.
That is so wild to me.
But yours has all sorts of them, and you have lots of things. It's like, it's crazy that you probably see. But what's wild to me is I probably get shared the videos that you send me. Like, I get them 3 days earlier than you do, but you're getting them on your Explore page. Yeah. I'm getting them not from the followers, but from my friends who also probably got them,
Yeah.
So, it's just like, I find that absolutely wild.
Because my Explore page right now, because the US Open is happening, it's tennis, F1, baseball. It's all Dodgers, baseball, Ohtani with a beard.
Ew, I don't think I want to see that.
Wrong. Can you please?
Oh God.
Baseball, football, and now that I'm saying this out loud, this is probably only going to get worse. But we did watch a football game yesterday.
This is really crazy. Okay, so one of this makes sense, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 things.
That's amazing.
I have 13 things on here, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of them have more skin showing than clothing.
Yeah.
Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
He's
6,
not
7.
exaggerating.
No, sorry, 8 of them have more skin showing than clothing. And one of them is like overtly sexual. Well, is like comic book, but semi-sexualized. And then a running shoe, something that I would not click on anyway. A hockey helmet, a Leica something.
That makes sense.
And Daniel Craig.
Look at my top.
You have way more.
No, that's 13. I just counted.
Is this the same as me? Just in a different organization?
Yeah. The only bathing suit or lingerie is a split photo, and it's because I think it's a boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband, wife, and the other guy looks like he's a football player.
Yeah, and then it talks about boob spillage on like not wearing the wrong size bra. It's going to be an
exercise video or something, I bet.
Oh. Why wouldn't you just get the like clothes that fit right, and then you don't have to worry about it, right?
No, because you still have to worry about it. It's still there. Like, remember before I started weightlifting, it was like there was extra when I started weightlifting.
Honestly, no. I don't pay attention
I do.
That's one of those things that like a lot of people don't pay attention to.
True. Like my bra that I have on right now is too small.
Sure. Anyway, not on that realm, but kind of circling back into this, I was listening to the Waveform podcast, which people that listen to this would be very uninterested in this podcast.
I don't think so, because I want to start listening to it.
Well, we won't listen to it together because I listen to it when I exercise typically. But it is a tech reviewers company's podcast, tech reviewers podcast. Anyway,
MKB
HD. Marquez Brownlee high definition.
It's such a difficult.
It's not.
It really is. MKBHD.
Yeah. Marquez Brownlee.
Yeah.
High definition.
High definition. Why is high definition whispered?
I don't know. No, so there's an episode today that was, or it's the most recent episode that was talking about productivity stuff, which it's the second time that they brought the same guy back to have a conversation about it, to check in 5 months later on if one of the guys used his suggestions, because the psycho just used for reminding himself alarms.
I get that.
I do too, but I do get I was like, I'm too into productivity stuff. I'm like, put it in a calendar. If the calendar's too full. The
calendar's worked a lot better for me.
But if the calendar's too full, which I also totally understand, put it in another app. I don't care what it is, just do it. Put it in reminders.
No,
I'm not saying make it complicated. I'm just saying make it. You have to do both. No, Are you kidding me?
Because that has been my problem.
Okay, time out. Let me get to the point here. Go. Great. So they got him suggestions. He said he would try it and see how it goes. And at first, he was like, everyone was reluctant and didn't expect it to happen. Moral of this story is he ended up keeping it. Now he's like an advocate for Google Tasks, which is great because he's an Android guy, so it's fine. He doesn't. Otherwise, I would say just use reminders. Same thing. But the whole reason I'm bringing this up is because the guy that they brought on, I actually don't remember his name. I think his name is David, but I don't know anything else, so I don't know. That's not very useful. He was talking about why reminder apps are useful and what the point of them is, when some people, like one of the other guys on the podcast, is like, it's just overwhelming. Like, I don't need to constantly have notifications or constantly be in my face. And then it's like more effort to go into the app to check off the thing. It's more work than it's worth. And he's like, I get that. But the amount of brain power and like freedom that you gain from not having to think about that. Mm-hmm. Because if you're constantly going like, well, I'm just going to make sure that I actively remember to take out the trash when I get home. Or you put a reminder in, and when I get home, remind me to take out the trash, or at whatever time, or whatever works best for you, right? Like, but just put it off to the side so that you can free up your brain to think through other things and to go do other things and be involved in other things. You now have more freedom.
And the trick is that oftentimes if I type it or write it down in my reminders or in my calendar or whatever, I do remember it.
Sure.
So when I get home, I do the thing and then I'm like, oh, and then I get the notification.
Right. But I'm saying this whole thing to say that when, like all of the things that you're talking about are like trying to figure out how to do stuff, like it's all tying into like how much brain power you have, basically. And when you started saying that, I was like, this is literally what I listened to when they were talking about it and like why they pick certain apps or things that work best for them or what their specifics are. And I'm like, yeah, this is exactly the same thing. But even with like doing something different every day, that requires a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, but if you don't have the effort and you have a long list of things that you have to get done, then, it makes it even more difficult if you also have to remember mundane tasks or things that you should be doing instead of just putting them off to the side and creating freedom and a little less stress on yourself. And now you can just like occasionally check back, which like writing stuff down, like while I like pen and paper, it is the most useless thing if I'm running around.
Yeah. I have found a New Balance. That's a company. That's not what I'm talking about, though. I've now found a new balance of things because, yes, writing things down. We just talked about this on a previous podcast when I got my new notebook, which I'm still using and I'm still obsessed with. But simply only writing things down, I get lost. very quickly. So I take back what I said of reminders and calendar not at the same time, because I do have a running list in my reminders, and I do have my like business tasks like every month for the membership, what has to happen. I have reinstated that in my workflow of like making that a thing every month to check off so that I don't miss anything.
Something. Yeah.
Smart. So I have that going, and I do have the calendar that I put the tasks in, which in the update, when the new phones come out, that's when I can do the tasks in the calendar.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
It'll all be cohesive. Well, you can see the tasks in the calendar. I don't know how it all works.
I'm
I don't have
excited
it.
to find out.
I don't have it. Okay,
yeah,
so I can't tell you.
Let you get the beta.
Yeah, as if I was going to listen to you on getting it or not.
You weren't. Never.
No, not a chance.
But I at least could try.
It's too late now. Like if I go now, we're what? We're
2 weeks
We're
away?
7 days from the announcement, and then potentially it's like 9 to 14 days from the release of the software. But like 18 days from the release of before.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, because they learned that a few years ago, I don't remember what year, but I remember it changing. They learned that when they released the software the same day as the new phones, the servers are super bogged down. So everybody's software update takes, just to download the update would take like 5+ hours. And it's like it's like 3 gigs.
Mm-hmm. Which, and if you do it in the Apple Store, it takes twice as long.
Well, I mean, sure, but that's slower Wi-Fi anyway. So they started doing it so that the people that like were going to do it the moment that it came out anyway would get it on Monday or whatever day that they release it, before all of the influx of all the new phones get it as well.
Sweet.
So, you have the bajillions of Apple customers getting software updates over a couple days, because some people aren't going to install it the moment it comes out at 10 a.m.
I will.
So will I. Or wait, on that day, where will I be? I might be on an airplane, so you might have it and I won't.
Yeah,
wait,
sucker.
when's my flight? I can tell you.
I've come so far.
You have.
I really have.
Let's see. My flight is 3 p.m. 10 a.m. Oh, I'll barely have it.
You'll
I'm going to do
don't
it.
You worry.
You know I'm doing it. Update the iPad, update the phone. As I'm at the airport, let's go. Who cares? Live life on the edge.
What a life. What a time to be alive.
Just update on the plane even. That Wi-Fi is going to be great.
I would not do that.
That'd be the worst idea ever.
Don't do that.
It'd be like the last flight we took when my iPad died and I'm just staring. Actually, I had Wi-Fi on that flight, and it was actually pretty good Wi-Fi, and I just doom scrolled my way through the rest of the flight because my iPad with my movies and everything I was working on died, and our row didn't have power.
Yeah.
But beyond not having the power, my plug was in the other thing. I didn't have it with me.
But I had my charger, and it wouldn't charge your stuff. Remember?
Yeah, because your charger's a dumb charger compared to my charger. Apparently.
That's rude.
No. Oh, yeah.
Apologize to my charger.
No, so your charger.
It's the old small one.
No, it's just like it's one version previous of Anchor's things, but the iPad can charge an iPhone, right?
Right.
The iPad can charge each way.
Yeah.
Your charger thought my iPad should be charging. So every time I would plug it in, you pull the remainder of my battery. So my battery was extra dead every time. I was like, I'm like, I'm begging you to charge it, not to take the charge.
Can a phone charge an iPad? We're not there yet.
No, these batteries are tiny.
Do you think it'll ever be that way? Like you could choose which way it's going?
I mean, that would be neat, but no. Another thing that I thought would always be cool, but I haven't heard about this in a long time, is like the MagSafe to MagSafe, or just like wireless charging. You set your
like
phone
to phone?
Yeah. That would be cool, right? You think it could go each way, but...
Yeah, but the camera's in the wrong...
No, you just go like this. Boop.
Or
like this.
That That would be amazing.
Yeah, you could go like that and charge up. But honestly, I ain't giving you any of my battery. That's precious. I'm just going to put it on a charger. It's not a feature I want. It would be cool, though. I would love to have it.
Don't care about me as much.
I do, but like...
I get that. No, be selfish. It's
but
fine.
But also, like...
I do get it.
I definitely want more battery life than you.
Yes, same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just bring a charger.
Should have brought a charger.
Should always had one.
How much percent would you give me? If I was like... One, I would give you 10.
I'll blow that on Instagram just
because.
because.
If you're dying out there, like, you don't go on Instagram. You put it on low battery and you don't touch it.
Hey, remember the one time that we were driving the Tesla and was it your phone that died or was it my phone that died?
I think it was you. And my phone died.
Yeah, and you did not process that you did not have your key.
No, my phone almost died. I was at Sprouts and I had like 1%. And yeah, I was freaking out because I was like, I can't drive my car.
Yeah.
If I don't get in there.
And I said, oh, you're an idiot.
Yeah. But like, I wasn't that far away, but like, it was a freaky moment where I was like literally mid getting groceries. And then I was like, okay, I need to speed things up.
You should turn your phone off and hope that it will come back to life.
I didn't do that.
That's a worse idea.
Yeah, because wouldn't it take energy to turn it on?
Well, sure, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how that works. But I do know that sometimes if it reads how low the battery is, she just won't turn back on.
Oh, gosh.
You are SOL. But anybody that like just lives life on the edge and just like, I got like 10%, I'm going out. Oh, absolutely not. We're not friends.
That stresses me out, even if it's not me and my phone. That stresses me out.
I'm not like obsessive about, I've met some people that are obsessive about like if it's at 80%, they cannot leave.
Yeah,
they have to bring a charger. No, I'm going
like
to let
a
it go.
30.
If we want to go real tech side of this whole thing, there's a whole, I'm actually curious about this. Can you go to your battery settings? We don't necessarily need to be doing this on the podcast, but I'm very curious.
Wrapping it up, but this could be the wrap up. Where do I go?
So go to battery, settings, then battery. It's way at the top. Battery. Like in the first section, it's green.
Cellular. No. Oh, found it.
Jeez. Okay, go to battery health. What does yours say? Normal. Okay.
89%.
Dang. What does it say for cycle count?
447.
Dang. What does
this mean? What is yours at?
That's crazy.
I'm scared.
Okay, so mine's not as bad as I thought. Mine is also normal, but mine's at 90% and 479. So I'm actually doing better than you.
Start over.
It's crazy.
Maximum capacity is what?
90.
Oh.
Yours is 89?
Yeah.
And you have 40 less charges than me?
447.
Oh, 447. So 30 less charges than me. I'm at 479 and 90.
And your manufacture date was July 2023?
Oh, dang. Wow, your phone's old.
Yeah, what is yours?
August. Mine's like young and...
Oh, wow. And first use September?
Well, yeah, because we both got the phones in September.
Well, I couldn't remember if you you had to switch out a phone.
What? No, I got a phone and I used a phone. What do you mean switch out a phone?
You just got your laptop fixed. I don't know, man.
That's because I dropped my laptop.
No, you didn't.
It didn't matter. I still had to pay for it.
I know, but you didn't tell the guy that.
Well, I didn't have to. It didn't matter how it broke.
Fair.
Had Apple Care Plus.
What are you at right now? What percentage?
64. What are you at?
44.
You left.
Yeah, but when I got back in my car, I've watched Gilmore Girls.
I go to the gym and I put it on the giant charger.
At the gym?
Yeah, because I'm watching YouTube. So I watched the YouTube.
What is this at?
That's just today. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Well, can we wrap the podcast up? I charged it like 19 times. You charged it once. See?
Wow.
That's why my battery's higher than yours.
Your activity is through the roof.
What's your screen active time?
Oh,
only an hour different.
Oh, okay.
Screen idle time? What do you got? 15? You got more than me. I got 14. Ooh, this has been updated. It's actually better.
How is yours YouTube and mine's Instagram?
Background
Netflix
activity.
Is only 2?
My YouTube's audio is at 27%.
Okay. Anyway, thanks for coming to our show and tell.
Well, for the last portion of this.
We really do appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. We hope you have a great week. Is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, please like this. Please subscribe.
Duh.
God.
Please do those things.
If you want to leave a review, go for it.
Not go for it. Go for it.
Yeah. Comment.
What was the thing that we were saying the other day that you had to emphasize?
I have no clue. Thank you for being here.
It'll come to me. Goodbye.